this battery. I locked my truck in the middle of nowhere.
The only time you've ever locked it.
Literally a cop's house in front of a cop car, and in the middle of nowhere I decided to lock my truck. Probably pretty scary here. Hey guys, I'm Ryan Weber and I own a video marketing company here in Lake Norman, North Carolina. So today we're going and visiting my friend Adam Wilson, who is the manager of the channel Broke Man Finance on YouTube. Go subscribe to them. They do a really good job if you're interested in crypto and stock market and kind of growing your personal wealth. But he reached out because he's trying to grow and build a better studio for his YouTube channel. He knows that I do this and we do a bunch of different lighting setups and camera setups and all the gear that you could possibly imagine. So he reached out to see if I could come out, help him get his new studio set up so he has the right camera, the right angles, the right audio, the right lighting setup to make it super smooth and easy so we can just click record and get his content done. So when we got there, he wanted to bring us into his basement, which is where his new studio is being built out. It looks awesome. It's kind of cool because it's got some natural light coming in, but you can really control the environment. He has a cool desk that he built out that's on wheels. He's got a whole background, and it's gonna look really, really good when it's completely done. His main concern for us was camera gear and lenses, audio, and most importantly was the lighting setup for him to use to do what he's trying to do. Currently right now he does a talking head to his channel just like this, so he'll look into a camera, talk, he'll have some graphics come up on the screen, but this is typically what he does. But he wants to add a new element where he's interviewing other people on the TV that would be across from him. He was also looking at maybe having multiple different setups so we could change it up and it's not always the same look every single time. So we wanted to try and make something really versatile for him, but have the least amount of movement possible. He doesn't want to be moving lights around and figuring out different setups every time. He kind of wants a set it and forget it and it's completely done. So the first thing we did when we got in there is we looked at the space and we tried to figure out what's the best angle. We originally thought angle A was what we were looking for, and I said, you know what, let's check out angle B. We liked angle B at the same time, but ultimately he wanted the TV on the specific wall, so we had to go back to the first angle and said, okay, this is where we're gonna use as our camera angle and where the desk is gonna be. Then we started looking at the lighting. I really liked an overhead lighting because that's gonna keep it right centered in the middle, and that kind of allows him to move around at his desk, but keep the lighting always the same. The other thing we did is on the corner of his desk, because he's either gonna be shooting this way or this way, the corner is where he could always have his, I guess technically it would be his fill light. Because the corner is at the 45-degree angle, we can put the light up above him and it's always gonna be filling this side of his face, and then when he turns this way, it's just gonna be filling the opposite side of his face, but it's always gonna have the same exact lighting, the same look. He doesn't have to change any intensities, and so he can literally just set it there, never have to do anything other than turn it on. He wanted more of like a cinematic, kind of dramatic, moody look rather than like the light and bright you would typically see in like a finance channel or a corporate channel. So we made sure that we had nothing on the opposite side of the face to give it a little more dramatic look. And then in the background, he's got a lot of little lights that he's gonna add, maybe some color lights, but we also recommended some of these standing lights, which we'll cut in here of what we have in our studio, that we really like the look of to be able to change the different colors. So the next thing he was looking for is kind of some camera angles. So we have our main camera angle that he would be talking, but he's never had a second camera angle. He's looking to pick up a second camera. I recommended the Sony a7S III. It's gonna be a really good full frame camera for him. He's already shooting on the Sony a6400, and so it'll be a good complement to each other to be able to use the same system in Sony. For that secondary angle, we went to the shadow side of the face and we said, okay, so this should be a tighter shot. This should be, you know, a scene that you could cut to based on the regular wide shot like this. We would have a secondary, well, on this shot, it would be a secondary camera over here to the opposite side of where that light is. So if the light was here, we want the secondary camera angled over here. So now when we're talking here, you can cut to this look, which would look like this. But it would be on the opposite side of the light. All that does is give you a little more cinematic look for when you're doing two camera cuts, and it also keeps it a little more interesting so you're just not talking and looking at one camera the whole time. Also, based on that angle and based on what he was trying to do, the same camera would be able to be used for his guest look. So he wouldn't have to move the camera around. All he would do is zoom it in and zoom it out. So we recommended a zoom lens. If he was shooting on the A7S III, then I would say probably a 24-70 would look really good there for him, so he could get a nice wide of the whole view, but then also a tight shot of his face, and he won't have to move anything. He literally just zooms the lens in and out. And lastly, he was focused on audio. We know audio is the most important thing. If he's gonna be moving around left and right, it's hard to have a microphone in front of you. So I recommended the Rode Wireless Go 2. It's a really good lav mic. You can clip it right onto your shirt. Don't have to really worry about too much. Good sounding. He's not going long distances. He doesn't have things walking in front of him, so he shouldn't have to worry about any audio interference or anything like that. If he was staying in one spot and not moving and wanted the microphone in the shot, I was gonna recommend the Shure SM7B. I love the microphone, it looks good on camera, and it's kind of the staple of what people use for that podcast kind of look. So he's gonna build out this studio in phases. I'm kind of putting together a gear list for him, that way he knows what he needs to buy based on his priorities of what he wants to get done. But some of the things that we talked about are gonna be linked down in the description below. And if you guys have any questions on this setup or things to do in a YouTube studio setup, please let me know. I really enjoy doing the lighting setup, the audio, the camera angles. We probably change our setup in here like 10 or 15 times just to keep things interesting and move things around. So we do it quite a bit. It's fun for us. So if you get questions, let us know. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're interested in business and marketing tips and other video tricks and tips to help you grow your business. Once again, my name is Ryan Weber, and we'll see you in the next one.